Mike Aguirre, Nathan Fletcher, David Alvarez, and Kelvin Faulconer are some of the top names being thrown around for this election. Newscene students have been following each of the candidates and finding out what they have to offer. Let's take a look now at some of the top 4 mayoral candidates.
Local polls have our previous city attorney as an underdog for our next mayor, but his experience and willingness to serve San Diego make him a possible contender.
Returning the city of San Diego to the people of San Diego is the reason I want to be your next mayor.
Democratic candidate Mike Aguirre has a law degree from the University of California, Berkeley, and a master's from Harvard in public administration. As assistant U.S. attorney, he directed an investigation into pension racketeering, leading to his appointment on the U.S. Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. He was elected city attorney of San Diego in 2004 amidst the pension crisis, was even praised in the New York Times for his commitment to reform, and is still heated on the subject to this day.
The pension's $275, so that means we're spending more on pension so that people can have $300,000 pensions than we are on our libraries, our rec centers, and our roads.
His combative approach as city attorney led to a tarnished relationship with then-Mayor Jerry Sanders and left people feeling he was difficult to work with.
That was just a ruse on my part. I was just faking that so that I didn't want people to think I was so nice that they could walk over me.
Pension reform is the most important issue for Aguirre, as he has suggested debates among his rivals, but they do not seem interested. 2 other items at the top of his agenda are San Diego's major problems with crumbling infrastructure and significant water issues. Aguirre has even proposed to resurrect a Depression-era bill where the city would issue unemployment bonds to finance public projects and put the unemployed to work.
It's an uphill climb for Aguirre, who is not accepting large financial donations and has a no advertising campaign. He relies on press conferences and public debates to reach voters. However, only time will tell if it's enough to connect with a wider audience.
Mayoral candidate and city council member Kelvin Faulconer comes heavily endorsed by over 20 locally elected officials and San Diego organizations. Joe Ham has more on the candidate.
46-year-old Kelvin Faulconer is no stranger to San Diego politics. He has served on the city council since 2006 on the Republican ticket, representing District 2, serving beach communities like OB, Point Loma, and Mission Beach.
A guy that can work with Democrats, Republicans, solution-oriented. And that's what San Diego needs right now, particularly after we've been through the troubles that we've just gone through as a city.
One of his biggest endorsements comes from former Mayor Jerry Sanders. With this, Faulconer wants to reassure voters that he is the right person for the job.
I'm proud to have a broad base of support, and particularly our former Mayor Jerry Sanders, who I stood side by side with as we made these tough decisions and reforms, even though we got fought every step of the way to turn around our city's picture financially. So I'm proud to have Jerry Sanders' support.
Like one of his opponents, Mike Aguirre, Faulconer promises to revamp pension plans for city workers, especially fire and police employees. And like another opponent, David Alvarez, he promises to invest in city neighborhoods that he believes have been neglected the longest. Faulconer's arrival to the city council 7 years ago happened by chance. He replaced then City Councilman Michael Zucchett, who resigned after he was convicted on federal charges of conspiracy, wire fraud, and extortion in connection with an alleged scheme to get no-touch laws at strip clubs in San Diego repealed. Ironically, now Kelvin Faulconer wants to replace Bob Filner, who fell from grace earlier this year. I'm Joe Ham, reporting for Newscene.
The highly endorsed Faulconer appears to be in the lead for the mayoral candidate in the list of mayoral candidates. But it's only Friday, so we will have to see what will happen between now and November 19th.
A former assemblyman and Marine hopes to take the title of San Diego's next mayor. Along with his many endorsements and commercial advertisements, we'll tell you what this candidate has to offer. Adam Andrews has more.
36-year-old Nathan Fletcher argues his service and political history shows he is the best candidate to tackle the major issues of San Diego, one of which is public safety.
Well, public safety is our highest priority. You know, I was a Marine. I know what it's like to have a job where you put your life on the line. I'm also a father, and I know how important the basic thing the city does of protecting our residents is.
Fletcher's endorsements include California Governor Jerry Brown, Attorney General Kamala Harris, the San Diego League of Conservation Voters, and small unions such as San Diego's police and fire groups.
Well, I think every endorsement matters, and I think San Diegans are out there looking for a candidate that has a commitment to rebuild. I mean, in the last 2 years alone, we've had 37,000 911 calls not answered in time. And we have fewer officers on the streets, fewer firefighters on the streets. There's been a lack of priority and focus on those basic things that residents should expect, and I think these endorsements send a powerful message that I'm the candidate that can fix that.
Fletcher's political accomplishments include high-profile legislation of written law, such as Chelsea's Law, which strengthens penalties for California sex offenders. Fletcher is currently an executive at Qualcomm, focusing on community outreach with plans to strengthen the economy by increasing jobs in the region over the next 6 years. Fletcher's focus on jobs and the economy, public safety, and streets and sidewalks are only now part of the political conversation. Will they be a part of the political agenda? We'll find out after the November 19th election. I'm Adam Andrus, Newscene.
Nathan Fletcher ran last year in the 2012 mayor race as a lifelong Republican. In the middle of that election, he changed his party to independent and is now running again as a Democrat.
City Council member David Alvarez has become one of the top 4 candidates in the special election. Cameron Brinkley has more on the San Diego native.
It's personal. As a native San Diegan, as someone who loves the city, I'm raising my own family. I want to make sure that this is a great city.
Mayoral candidate David Alvarez grew up in Barrio Logan, a city he says has been overlooked by politicians in the past. This helped influence his grassroots style of politics.
But we can't leave people behind. We can't continue to not fund affordable housing, or to not pay decent wages, or to not have a good public transportation system for the people who depend on it.
Alvarez was elected in 2010 to represent District 8. In his 3 years on the city council, Alvarez has done a few things to benefit San Diego. Most recently, he pushed to pass a Barrio Logan community plan that sets up a buffer zone that separates residents from industry.
As mayor, I will do more. I'll put more police on the streets, fix more of our roads and our sidewalks, and improve emergency response times.
Alvarez hopes his blueprint for San Diego provides a foundation for how he plans to invest in his city's neighborhoods, put San Diegans back to work, support the schools, ensure long-term water security, and establish openness and efficiency at City Hall. Cameron Brinkley, Newscene.
David Alvarez has earned big endorsements, including the San Diego County Democratic Party and the American Federation of Teachers Guild. Ex-Councilwoman Donna Fry also expressed her support for Alvarez.
And this is the first mayoral election in San Diego that all 4 major candidates use social media outlets to engage young people. Even so, there seems to be a disconnect and apathy amongst college-age voters. Dallas Richter took to campus to get reactions from students and faculty on the top candidates. Dallas?
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm out here in Kern Plaza, and earlier I spoke to students and faculty about the upcoming election, and there's some mixed reactions about the top candidates. Let's hear what they had to say.
It was an opportunity to grow as a city, and we definitely need somebody that can help us get us there, because otherwise we're hopeless.
Due to the situation, it is what it is, and people need to look into these candidates and just go by what they believe in.
It's unfortunate that we have to have an interim election, you know, and Bob Wilner came across as a very nice guy and capable, you know, efficient guy, but he turned out to be a crook and sleazy, and it's unfortunate. San Diego has to go through it, you know. But one of the 3 are going to be elected. It is between Fletcher and Faulconer and Alvarez, you know. So they will do the best they can.
You know, I think there needs to be a healing, and I think whoever comes in as a new mayor, that would make a big difference.
Back out here in Kern Plaza, so as you can see, there's some concern about whether these candidates can redeem San Diego from the Faulconer scandal. But the general consensus out here is only time will tell. For Newscene, Dallas Richter, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Dallas. Now that we've given you a look at the top 4 candidates, we want to show you now where they stand.
Newscene reporter Ada Schmidt is here to tell us about how close this race is turning out to be. Ada?
Well, thanks, guys. Good evening, San Diego. I'm Ada Schmidt, and I have the most recent UT Readers Poll results. As you can see, we have Aguirre leading up the bottom with 7%, Alvarez at 17%, Nathan Fletcher, he's at 28%, but just at the last poll, he was actually in the lead until we have Kevin Faulconer, who got some very heavy endorsements, and now he is in the lead with 41%. Now, just to let you know, what you need to do is do your homework, because so much happens between now and Election Day. I mean, we have the entire weekend, so you can bet that all these candidates are going to be hitting that campaign trail very hard. So do your homework and make it in to vote on Tuesday. I'm Ada Schmidt. Now back to the news desk.
Thank you, Ada. And the candidates take the stage in a mayoral debate. What issues they'll tackle if they are elected?
Next week's special election comes with a price tag, and the numbers may surprise you.